In every age, warriors have fallen not by the sword, but by the slow decay of their own spirit. Fatigue is the silent enemy, an unseen opponent that slips into the body, dulls the senses, and weakens the resolve. In my lifetime, I learned that strength does not come from muscle alone, nor endurance from breath alone. True energy rises from clarity, discipline, and an unshakable spirit that refuses to bend. To live without fatigue is not to escape hardship, it is to sharpen oneself so completely that hardship cannot penetrate. Energy is a blade. If left unmaintained, it rusts. If polished daily, it becomes capable of cutting through all obstacles. This code is not comfort, it is not softness, it is the direct path of those who choose to stand awake while others sleepwalk through life. If you walk this path, you will reclaim the fire that fatigue once stole. Step by step, breath by breath, you will forge a body resilient, a mind unmoved, and a spirit that cannot be exhausted. This is the way of energy. This is the way of a warrior. In the life of every warrior there comes a moment when the enemy is not a man standing across the field, but the turmoil rising within one's own chest. Most battles are lost long before the blades cross, because the mind has already surrendered to confusion, haste, fear, or exhaustion. To conquer fatigue, you must first learn to conquer this inner storm, for it is the root of all wasted energy. The body may be strong, but if the spirit is scattered, it becomes like a sword swung by trembling hands. Without precision, without direction, without force. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the sharpening of awareness until each motion is born from a center that does not waver. Many men mistake stillness for passivity, but stillness is the source of every decisive action. The arrow released from a trembling bow will never strike true. The warrior whose spirit trembles within will never conserve his strength. Only from deep stillness can true energy rise. When I walked the path of training, I observed that most people exhaust themselves not by facing great hardships, but by allowing countless small disturbances to drain their strength. Their minds are always shifting. Past regrets, future worries, endless comparisons, unnecessary desires. They are pulled apart like a rope with too many hands pulling in different directions, and in this state, even simple tasks become heavy. Fatigue feeds on disorder. The more a man struggles inside, the weaker he stands outside. Therefore, the first discipline of energy is to silence the internal noise. This silence is not something granted by the world, it is forged through the deliberate discipline of attention. You must train your ability to return to the present moment again and again, until the mind becomes obedient to your will. When eating, eat. When walking, walk. When training, train. Bring your attention wholly into one action, as if nothing else exists. This is the beginning of mastery. In my early years, I too suffered from restlessness. Though my sword was sharp, my mind was blunt. I believed that relentless motion was the way to strength, but endless movement without direction only leads to exhaustion. When I discovered stillness, I realized that a single calm breath could cut deeper than 10 frantic swings. Stillness reveals what movement hides. It shows you how much force you waste through tension, hesitation, or emotional clutter. When the spirit settles, the sword moves with less effort yet greater power. Fatigue often rises because the mind clings to what has already passed or fears what has not yet arrived. A man who lives in two times at once loses the energy to live in the present. This is why stillness demands that you sever attachment to what no longer stands before you. When the moment has passed, release it immediately. When the future calls, answer it only when it arrives. Carry neither burden on your back, for both weigh more heavily than steel armor. Stillness is also mastery over emotion. Most people are exhausted not by their work, but by the storms of anger, envy, frustration, and desire that rage inside them. When the heart is disturbed, the breath becomes shallow, the muscles tense, and the mind scatters. These are the roots of fatigue. A warrior must feel emotions without being consumed by them. Anger is not a weapon unless shaped by clarity. Desire is not strength unless aligned with purpose. Without stillness, emotions become tyrants that drain your life force. To cultivate stillness, you must observe your inner state as clearly as you observe an opponent in battle. Notice where your thoughts rush, where your spirit collapses, where your breath shortens. If your awareness is sharp, you will see fatigue forming long before it overtakes you. In this awareness, fatigue loses its power, for you can correct your posture, deepen your breath, redirect your energy, and regain your center. In combat, I learned that the moment the mind panics, the body weakens. This truth applies also to everyday life. When you rush, your movements become sloppy and wasteful. When you worry, your energy flows outward instead of inward. When you complain, your spirit loses sharpness. When you doubt, your strength retreats. Stillness cuts through these weaknesses. It returns you to a position of control. It allows you to act from a foundation that cannot be shaken. Do not believe that stillness must be practiced only in quiet temples or isolated mountains. A true warrior trains stillness in the marketplace, in the noise of crowds, in the chaos of daily life. If you can remain centered while surrounded by disorder, your energy becomes unassailable. The world no longer dictates your state. You dictate your response to the world. This is the essence of discipline. Begin with the breath. The breath is the bridge between spirit and body. When the breath deepens, energy settles. When the breath steadies, thought slows. When the breath is controlled, emotion obeys. Sit or stand with a straight spine. Inhale slowly as if drawing the world into your center. Exhale completely as if cutting away all unnecessary weight. Do not force the breath, guide it. This practice strengthens the foundation upon which stillness is built. Next, cultivate awareness of your posture. The body reflects the mind. A slumped back or collapsed chest signals defeat and drains vitality. Stand as though facing an opponent, rooted, balanced, alert. This posture awakens a sense of readiness that energizes the entire being. Stillness is not limp relaxation. It is poised calmness, like a bowstring that is neither slack nor straining but held in perfect equilibrium. Then observe your thoughts as though they belong to someone else. Do not chase them. Do not resist them. Let them pass as clouds across the sky. In time, you will see that thoughts lose power when you cease feeding them your attention. In this space, the mind becomes clear, and clarity restores energy. A clear mind wastes nothing. A cloudy mind loses everything. To master stillness is also to master intention. Many people exhaust themselves because they move without a clear purpose. They pour energy into actions that do not serve their path. A warrior does nothing without intention. Before each task, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does this strengthen me? Does this align with my path? If the answer is no, release the task. Energy is finite. Do not scatter it on pursuits unworthy of your discipline. Stillness teaches you to move only when movement is required, to speak only when words have weight, to fight only when victory demands it. This economy of action is the root of endurance. Fatigue has no place in the life of one who uses energy with precision. There will be times when your spirit trembles, no matter how disciplined you are. The world will test you with unexpected hardships, losses, and disruptions. Even a seasoned warrior may momentarily falter, but stillness gives you the power to return to your center quickly. The untrained man collapses under pressure. The disciplined man regains balance after every blow. This resilience is a form of energy stronger than muscle, stronger even than skill. Stillness does not mean emptiness of ambition. It means clarity of direction. You eliminate fatigue not by dulling your desires but by refining them. A single, focused purpose fuels the spirit. Countless shallow desires drain it. Just as water scattered becomes mist but water concentrated becomes a powerful stream, so does human energy gather strength when directed toward one unwavering aim. In stillness, you discover that your spirit possesses far greater depth than you imagined. Beneath the surface noise lies a reservoir of vitality that cannot be exhausted. Most people never reach this depth because their minds are too restless to descend into it. But if you cultivate stillness every day, even for brief moments, you will tap into this hidden reserve. From this reserve comes the quiet power that allows you to endure long hours, face difficult trials, and rise again even when the world expects you to fall. Understand this clearly: fatigue is not merely a condition of the body. It is a weakening of the connection between mind, body, and spirit. When these three move together, fatigue cannot penetrate. When they scatter, even simple tasks become burdensome. Stillness unites these three elements into a single force. In that unity, you become unstoppable. Walk through the world with a calm spirit, and you conserve energy effortlessly. Respond with precision instead of impulse. Breathe deeply instead of reacting rashly. Let your attention remain steady instead of being pulled in every direction. This way of being is not a technique but a path. Master it, and fatigue will no longer rule your life. Stillness is the secret armor of the warrior. It protects your energy, sharpens your perception, strengthens your actions, and aligns your purpose. When you master the stillness within, you no longer fear exhaustion. You understand that your power does not come from frantic effort, but from disciplined presence. The warrior who is still within moves like a mountain and strikes like lightning. His actions are few but decisive. His energy is conserved yet always ready. His spirit does not waver even when storms rise around him. This is the way. Those who walk this path will find that fatigue becomes a stranger, unable to dwell in a mind that is clear, or a spirit that is calm, or a body that is centered. Stillness is not the beginning of energy, it is the forge in which energy is made powerful. Do not underestimate its depth. Do not neglect its practice. When you master the stillness within, you have mastered the foundation of life itself. From that foundation, strength rises. In my long life walking the way of the sword, I observe that most men exhaust themselves not because their tasks are too heavy, but because their movements are scattered, wasteful, frantic, and without direction. They swing wildly, speak unnecessarily, rush thoughtlessly, and carry out actions without alignment between intention and execution. A warrior who acts without purpose drains his strength faster than a man who swings his blade against 10 opponents. Excess movement is the quiet thief of energy. It steals not only strength from the muscles but clarity from the mind and resolve from the spirit. Purpose is the spine of all actions. Without it, your efforts crumble under their own weight. A man who moves without purpose is like a blade without a sheath, exposed, dulling with every careless motion, and striking nothing of value. But a man whose movements arise from intention cuts through obstacles with minimal force, for each action is chosen, deliberate, and aligned with his path. When I faced opponents in duel, I never wasted a single step. I never swung my sword unless the strike carried meaning. Excess movement reveals panic, inexperience, or confusion. Purposeful movement reveals mastery. This is true not only in battle but in every corner of life. In your daily tasks, in your relationships, in your ambitions, learn to act as if each step is being watched by an enemy waiting to exploit your weakness. This awareness sharpens your judgment. You will begin to ask yourself before every motion, is this necessary? Does this advance my path? Does this strengthen my spirit? Most people move as if they have endless energy, and then lament their exhaustion. They rise from one thought to another with no discipline, their bodies following the chaos of their minds. They hurry when there is no need to hurry, and remain idle when action is required. They shift from task to task without completing the first, wasting energy in transitions and scattering their spirit like leaves blown by the wind. A warrior who lives this way dies long before the battle begins, not by the enemy's blade, but by his own undisciplined nature. To eliminate fatigue, you must understand the principle of economy. In the art of war, economy is more important than brute force. A single precise cut delivered at the right moment is worth more than 100 wild swings fueled by desperation. Purpose transforms motion into power. Excess transforms it into weakness. You must cultivate the strength to restrain yourself. The untrained man believes action alone creates progress, so he fills his life with constant motion. But the trained eye sees that unnecessary action creates only depletion. The warrior knows how to conserve his energy by doing less, not more, yet achieving greater results. Every movement should hold the weight of intention behind it, like a drawn bowstring capable of releasing power at any moment. Consider the body. Muscles consume strength when they tighten unnecessarily. The unskilled swordsman tenses his entire body for every small action, believing this displays strength, but he merely drains his reserves. The skilled warrior keeps his body relaxed except in the instant force is required. Looseness allows speed, tension slows the spirit, tightness drains endurance, relaxation preserves it. The same is true of the mind. A mind always clenched by fear, desire, or overthinking consumes far more energy than one guided by quiet purpose. When your movements are excessive, you reveal that you have not mastered yourself. When your movements are precise, you reveal mastery of your body, mind, and will. This mastery requires awareness. You must become conscious of every habit that steals your energy. Observe how you walk, how you sit, how you speak, how you respond to challenges. Do you rush? Do you fidget? Do you jump ahead mentally? Do you act from impulse instead of intention? Each of these is a leak in the vessel of your energy. Plugging these leaks will restore strength you did not know you had lost. A warrior moves as though each action must justify its existence. There is no wasted gesture. His step is firm, his posture balanced, his breath aligned with his movement. Even in rest he is purposeful, even in stillness he is ready. This way of being transforms your entire existence into a disciplined flow. Life becomes sharper, cleaner, more powerful. To move with purpose is also to resist the urge to divide your attention. Many people drain themselves by attempting to perform multiple actions at once, believing this displays efficiency. But this is deception. Divided attention divides energy, and divided energy produces weak results. The warrior, on the other hand, gives his whole spirit to the task before him. When he eats, he does not think of training. When he trains, he does not think of resting. When he rests, he does not think of battle. This unity of focus turns each action into a forge that strengthens him. If you move with purpose, your energy flows like a river carved by discipline, unstoppable and enduring. If you move with excess, your energy becomes mist, scattered to the wind before it can reach its destination. To cultivate purposeful movement, begin with your posture. Stand straight, not with arrogance but with presence. Let your shoulders loosen, your breath deepen, your stance widen. Move slowly and consciously, feeling the weight of each step. When you reach for something, reach fully. When you put it down with intention. Do not act as if you have unlimited time and unlimited energy. Act as if each motion matters. Next, study the flow of your daily actions and remove what is unnecessary. Many people exhaust themselves through obligations that serve no meaningful purpose. They say yes when they must say no. They engage in tasks that drain them because they fear disappointing others or appearing weak. But the warrior does not live by the expectations of the world. He lives by the demands of his path. To eliminate excess movement, you must also eliminate excess commitments. A cluttered life produces a cluttered spirit. A disciplined life produces a strong one. The discipline of purposeful movement extends to speech as well. Words are movements of the mind. Speak only when the words carry meaning. Most people tire themselves by engaging in needless chatter, arguments, explanations, and complaints. Every unnecessary word is a loss of energy. The warrior listens more than he speaks. When he chooses to speak, the words strike like an arrow, direct, clean, and efficient. You must also understand that purposeful movement is not rigid. It is fluid. Like water flowing around a rock, purposeful motion adapts without losing intention. Excess motion stems from resistance, from fighting what does not need to be fought. Purposeful motion accepts what is, adjusts, and moves forward without wasting strength. Fatigue often arises because people resist the flow of life. They fight circumstances, cling to outcomes, and struggle against things beyond their control. This internal resistance produces physical tension, mental exhaustion, and emotional heaviness. When you move with purpose, you no longer attempt to control everything. You simply control yourself. Your actions become more powerful because they are not hindered by internal conflict. In battle, I learned that facing a stronger opponent requires not more movement, but better movement. The untrained fighter swings wildly, believing effort alone will give him advantage. But this flailing weakens him with each moment. The trained warrior waits, observes, and strikes only when the opening appears. One purposeful strike defeats 100 wasted ones. This principle applies to all aspects of life. Do not act out of fear or impatience. Act from clarity. Clarity saves energy. Impulse wastes it. Understand this: purpose does not make movement slower. It makes it faster. When intention is sharp, hesitation disappears. When hesitation disappears, your actions become immediate and decisive. There is no wasted time between thought and execution. This unity of mind and body creates a flow that feels effortless. Effortlessness is not the absence of work. It is the outcome of disciplined purpose. Those who live with excess motion often believe they are working hard. They confuse exhaustion with accomplishment. But exhaustion is merely the body's protest against misused energy. A warrior does not seek exhaustion, he seeks efficiency. His aim is not to burn out, but to endure. Endurance is built not through effort alone, but through intelligent effort. If you observe yourself with honesty, you will see that many of your movements arise from habit, emotion, or distraction rather than intention. This realization is the first step toward change. Once you see the excess, you can cut it away like a warrior trimming unnecessary weight from his armor. Every day, seek to do less, but do it better. Let your actions be few, but powerful. Let your movements be simple, but complete. Let your energy be conserved, but ready. When you master purposeful movement, fatigue loses its hold on you. Your energy flows without loss. Your strength remains steady. Your actions carry impact. You become like a sword that never dulls because every swing is chosen, every motion refined, every gesture aligned with the path of mastery. Purposeful movement is not merely a technique, it is a way of being. It transforms the smallest tasks into disciplines and the largest challenges into opportunities. It teaches you to cut through life with the same precision you would use to cut through an opponent. It brings clarity, endurance, and calm power. When you learn to move with purpose, not excess, your life becomes a series of decisive steps. You expend only the energy required, no more, no less. The spirit remains strong, the body remains ready, the mind remains clear. This is the way of the warrior who does not tire. This is the way of one who eliminates fatigue not by force, but by mastery. Strength is not gained in a moment nor forged in a single burst of effort. It is built through the steady beating of one's own spirit against the grindstone of daily discipline. The body, like the sword, dulls when neglected. Even the sharpest blade becomes useless if left unwiped for a single night. The warrior who trains only when it is convenient, or only when the mood stirs him, is no warrior at all. He is a leaf blown by the wind, light, easily moved, without weight or strength. To eliminate fatigue, you must build a body that does not bend under the weight of the day. The strength you seek is not the loud, dramatic strength shown in moments of pride. It is the quiet, enduring strength built in simple, daily acts of discipline. A single day of training has little effect, but 1,000 days of consistent effort creates a body that does not betray its owner. I have seen many fighters who trained with great fury for a short time, only to collapse into idleness as soon as discomfort touched them. Their energy burns bright like straw in fire, intense for a moment, then gone without trace. But the true warrior trains with the calm persistence of water carving its way through stone. He trains not for glory, not for admiration, but because he knows that discipline is the foundation of life. Without it, the body weakens, the mind scatters, and the spirit sinks into dullness. A weak body invites fatigue, a disciplined body repels it. Most people misunderstand training. They believe training must be grand, harsh, extreme. They think of lifting heavy stones, of running until collapse, of pushing the body to its breaking point. Such training has its place, but it is not the foundation. The body breaks when pushed without wisdom. What builds true strength is not excess, but consistency. The small, daily practices strengthen the body like drops of water filling a vast vessel. They appear insignificant, but over time, they create immense power. A warrior's body is not built in the training hall alone, but in the rhythms of daily life. Each time you rise from the floor, rise with purpose. Each time you stand, stand firmly. Each time you lift something, lift it consciously, feeling the muscles that support the movement. Training does not only occur in formal sessions, training happens every moment when awareness joins action. This is how small practices shape great warriors. When I traveled across provinces, I could not always train in structured ways, yet I never let a single day pass without engaging my body. If there was no sword, I lifted stones. If there were no stones, I climbed trees. If the land was flat, I ran across it. If I could do nothing else, I controlled my breath and straightened my posture. The world is filled with opportunities to strengthen oneself. Only those who seek excuses fail to see them. Fatigue is often the result of neglect. When the body is unused, it becomes like a stagnant pond, still on the surface, but foul underneath. Movement cleanses the body. It strengthens the breath, sharpens the senses, awakens the spirit, and pushes away the heaviness that clings to idle flesh. But this movement must be guided by discipline, not frenzy. The purpose of daily training is not to destroy the body, but to keep it alive, sharp, and loyal. A warrior must train the body in a way that supports endurance, not vanity. Many train only to look strong, but looking strong is nothing. Even a statue carved from stone can appear powerful, but it will not move, nor fight, nor endure. What matters is functional strength, the strength to act with precision, the strength to endure long hours without complaint, the strength to continue when others fall. Do not chase the appearance of strength, chase the reality of it. To train the body daily, you must train with acceptance rather than emotion. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation is whimsical and weak. Discipline is firm and unchanging. Each morning, each evening, each day, perform your chosen practices with the same calm determination that you would apply to sharpening your sword. A blade sharpens through steady strokes, not through erratic emotional swings. So too does the body. One of the greatest errors men make is believing that training requires extraordinary effort. The truth is simpler. Ordinary effort repeated without fail produces extraordinary results. 500 cuts practiced every day will surpass 5,000 cuts practiced once a week. 10 minutes of disciplined movement each morning will build more strength than 10 hours of frantic exercise done sporadically. The body respects consistency, not chaos. Even breathing is training. When your breath becomes shallow, your spirit weakens and fatigue rises. When your breath is deep and controlled, the entire body awakens. Train the breath with the same seriousness you train the sword. Inhale with the intention of filling the body with life. Exhale with the intention of releasing tension. Breath steadies the mind, and a steady mind strengthens the body. If you control your breath, fatigue has no place to settle. Train your legs, for they carry the weight of your life. Train your grip, for it reflects the strength of your will. Train your back, for it stabilizes your posture. Train your core, for it connects the entire body into one unified force. But do not train obsessively in a single way. A warrior must be adaptable like shifting wind. Strength should be balanced, fluid, ready to respond in any direction. Training that is too narrow becomes fragile. Training that is varied becomes resilient. Daily training cleans the mind as well. When you move the body with discipline, stagnant thoughts lose their grip, worries lose their weight. The mind becomes focused not on endless concerns, but on the rhythm of breath and the precision of movement. The body becomes the anchor that prevents the spirit from drifting. A trained body supports a calm mind. A calm mind preserves energy. Preserved energy eliminates fatigue. You must also understand that training in small ways is not weakness, it is wisdom. A man who trains intensely for a short time and then collapses cannot maintain his path. A man who trains lightly but consistently becomes unstoppable. This principle applies to everything in life. Small acts done daily transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Training is also a form of respect for life itself. The body is the vessel through which you experience the world. To neglect it is to insult the path you walk. To strengthen it is to honor the journey. A weak body makes even simple tasks burdensome. A strong body makes even great burdens manageable. When your body is trained, your energy flows freely. When your body is neglected, energy becomes trapped and fatigue takes over. Do not allow the body to become sluggish. Sluggishness is the root of exhaustion. Move even when you do not feel like moving. Begin with one breath, one stretch, one controlled motion. The body, once awakened, responds quickly. Like a warrior roused from sleep, it becomes alert, ready, alive. There will be days when the body resists. It will feel heavy, tight, uncooperative. But these are the most important days to train. Training during ease strengthens the body. Training during heaviness strengthens the spirit. And when spirit and body train together, fatigue retreats. Do not seek comfort in training. Comfort softens the blade. Seek only progress. Progress is not loud, not dramatic. It is the silent expansion of your limits. Every day you train even a little, you step beyond who you were the day before. In time, the body becomes your ally, not your burden. It moves when commanded. It endures when needed. It supports your mind and amplifies your spirit. Fatigue becomes rare, and even when it appears, it cannot dominate you. You have trained too consistently, built too much resilience, forged too much strength for fatigue to take hold. A disciplined body is a disciplined life. When you train daily, the world no longer feels heavy. Tasks that once drained you become light. Challenges that once intimidated you become manageable. Your posture straightens, your breath deepens, your presence sharpens. You move through the world with the certainty of one who has prepared. A warrior trains daily not to survive battle, but to be worthy of life. Training is an act of gratitude, an act of discipline, an act of self-respect. Through daily effort, even the smallest actions, you build a body that serves your purpose rather than obstructing it. And in that service, fatigue dissolves like mist under the morning sun. Train every day, even in the smallest ways. This is the path of quiet, unstoppable strength. A warrior's greatest enemy is not always the opponent standing before him. Often it is the weight he carries on his own back, burdens he does not need, thoughts that cloud his judgment, habits that drain his spirit, and attachments that slow his movement. Victory belongs to the one who is light, unburdened, and precise. For this reason, it is necessary to cut away what is unnecessary. Just as a swordsmith removes impurities from steel to create a blade capable of withstanding battle, you must remove the excess from your life to withstand the struggles of existence. Nothing weakens a warrior more than carrying too much. The unnecessary clings like vines around the legs, slowing each step, tiring the body, and suffocating the spirit. Many people live in exhaustion not because life is too heavy, but because they cling to what no longer serves them. They collect obligations that drain them, habits that rot them from within, desires that fragment their focus, and fears that paralyze their movement. They accumulate these weights like a fool collecting stones, believing each has value, when in truth only a few are worth holding. To eliminate fatigue, you must cultivate the discipline of removal. Strength grows not only through addition but through subtraction. The warrior is not defined by how much he carries, but by how much he is willing to discard. Cutting away the unnecessary is an act of courage, for it requires you to stand naked before yourself and admit what is weakening you. Most men cannot do this. They prefer to cling to familiarity, even when it poisons them. Unnecessary actions are often disguised as productivity. People rush, multitask, overthink, overwork, and fill their days with countless activities believing this proves diligence. But this is merely the illusion of progress. What truly matters is not the number of actions you perform, but the purity of your intention behind each one. A single purposeful action holds more power than 100 scattered motions. Excess action dilutes energy. Purposeful action concentrates it. The same principle applies to thought. Unnecessary thoughts are the heaviest burden of all. The mind, when left unchecked, becomes a battlefield of noise. Regrets from the past, fears of the future, imaginary scenarios, useless comparisons, attachments to outcomes. These are shadows that drain vital energy. Fatigue often comes not from physical labor but from mental chaos. A warrior cannot allow his mind to wander like a wild horse. It must be reined in with discipline. When the mind is quiet, energy returns. When the mind is confused, energy leaks from every direction. Cutting away the unnecessary begins with observation. Most people move through life asleep, unaware of the weight they carry. You must awaken and examine your life with a sharp gaze. Observe your habits, your thoughts, your commitments, your possessions, your relationships, your goals. Ask yourself, does this strengthen me? Does this align with my path? Does this drain or nourish my spirit? If it weakens you, it must be removed. If it distracts you, it must be set aside. If it exhausts you without purpose, it must be cut away. A warrior must not hesitate in this cutting. Hesitation is a sign of attachment. Attachment is the enemy of clarity. When you hesitate to let go of something, it reveals its hold over you. Letting go is not a loss, it is liberation. When the unnecessary falls away, what remains becomes sharper, brighter, and more powerful. When I traveled and fought, I carried very little. A sword, a short blade, simple clothing, and the knowledge I had honed through discipline. This simplicity allowed me to move freely, to react without delay, to conserve energy, and to remain alert. If I had burdened myself with excess possessions, elaborate armor, or heavy packs, my footing would have been slower, my movements less precise. Life is no different. The more you carry, the more you fatigue yourself before the battle even begins. Look at your surroundings. How many objects, tools, decorations, or belongings serve no purpose yet demand time, attention, or maintenance? Clutter in the environment creates clutter in the mind. A warrior's space must be ordered, clean, and intentional. When the space is clear, the mind becomes clear. When the mind is clear, the spirit gains strength. People, too, can be unnecessary. Some drain your energy with complaints, negativity, false praise, or idle chatter. Others pull you away from your path with distractions or their own lack of discipline. A warrior does not surround himself with those who weaken him. He chooses companions who sharpen him, challenge him, and elevate him. If someone repeatedly drains your spirit, have the courage to create distance. Cutting away unnecessary relationships is an act of self-respect, not cruelty. To cut away the unnecessary, you must also confront your desires. Desire, when uncontrolled, becomes a fire that consumes energy. People desire comfort, recognition, approval, entertainment, pleasure, wealth. These desires multiply endlessly, and each one pulls the mind in a different direction. A warrior cannot afford to be divided. A divided spirit is weak. Limit your desires and you will find strength returning to your veins. When the mind is no longer pulled toward every temptation, it becomes focused and powerful. One of the most dangerous forms of unnecessary weight is the pursuit of perfection. Many waste their energy trying to make every detail flawless before acting. They hesitate, rethink, revise endlessly, and in doing so exhaust themselves before making progress. Perfection is an illusion. A warrior does not aim for perfect conditions. He acts with what he has, sharpens along the way, and adapts as needed. Cut away the need for perfect timing, perfect results, perfect conditions. Act with clarity, and refinement will follow. Time itself must be treated as a blade that cuts away the unnecessary. How you spend your hours determines whether fatigue dominates or strength prevails. People drain their time on trivial distractions, endless conversations, mindless entertainment, wandering thoughts, and empty activities. They waste their mornings and regret their nights. A warrior guards his time fiercely. Every moment is either strengthening or weakening you. If it weakens, cut it away. The art of cutting away requires not only removal, but also discipline in refusal. You must learn to say no without fear. No to unnecessary tasks. No to obligations that drain you. No to fears that limit you. No to comfort that softens you. Every no strengthens your spirit. Every yes given without intention weakens it. When you strip away what is unnecessary, what remains is pure. You become capable of focusing entirely on what matters. Your movements become efficient, your thoughts become sharp, your spirit becomes unclouded. Fatigue fades because energy no longer leaks into meaningless things. Cutting away the unnecessary is not only an action but a lifelong practice. The world constantly tries to burden you with more than you need. More beliefs, more possessions, more emotions, more desires, more noise. You must continually cut, refine, and return to simplicity. Simplicity is power. Simplicity is clarity. Simplicity is energy. A warrior's strength lies not in abundance but in precision. He chooses his battles, his tools, his words, and his actions carefully. He wastes nothing. He carries only what he must. He knows that the sharpest blade is forged through the removal of all impurities. Likewise, the strongest life is forged through the removal of all that distracts from the path. When you master the art of subtraction, your entire being becomes lighter. You move with greater speed. You think with greater focus. You feel with greater calm. Fatigue becomes rare because nothing unnecessary remains to weigh you down. The spirit becomes flame, bright, concentrated, and untiring. The body becomes efficient. The mind becomes still. This is the power of cutting away the unnecessary. It is not a small discipline. It is one of the highest forms of mastery, for it demands honesty, courage, and unwavering clarity. Few have the strength to let go, but those who do discover a life where energy flows freely, purpose shines clearly, and fatigue loses its hold completely. A warrior who seeks boundless energy must learn to stand in a state where spirit, mind, and body are no longer separate. Most people move through life divided. Their thoughts run in one direction, their emotions in another, and their actions stagger behind. Such fragmentation invites exhaustion, for a divided being leaks energy the way a cracked vessel leaks water. To eliminate fatigue at its root, you must forge yourself into a single, unbroken entity. Spirit leading, mind sharpening, body obeying without hesitation. Understand first that spirit is the flame at the center of all human strength. It is the inner fire that determines how you rise, how you endure, how you respond when life presses against you. When the spirit is weak, even a small difficulty will drain you. When the spirit is strong, mountains become stepping stones. To cultivate this spirit, you must look inward and ask yourself why you walk the path you walk. A person without purpose is easily exhausted because every task feels heavy. But a person with clear intent carries even great burdens lightly. Before training the body or disciplining the mind, ignite this inner reason. Without it, nothing else will hold. Once spirit is anchored, the mind must be sharpened like a blade. A dull blade requires great effort to cut. A sharp blade moves with ease. Likewise, a dull mind wastes energy through confusion, hesitation, or distraction. Many people feel tired not because their tasks are difficult but because their minds are unfocused. Their thoughts scatter in all directions, worrying about tomorrow, replaying yesterday, drowning in noise. The warrior trains the mind to rest fully in the present moment. This state, free from unnecessary thought, is where true power is found. Just as I once stood facing multiple opponents with absolute calm, you must learn to stand in your battles, daily challenges, responsibilities, ambitions, with a mind unmoved by chaos. To sharpen the mind, you must cut away mental clutter. This is done through disciplined habits, simplifying your environment, establishing routines that direct your focus, and practicing stillness each day. Even a few breaths taken with full awareness create alignment between your inner and outer world. Over time, this clarity becomes natural, and the energy once lost to distraction becomes energy reclaimed for living. The body, the vessel through which all actions flow, must then be trained to obey the commands of the mind and the will of the spirit. Many people fight their own bodies, forcing themselves to move when the body resists. This creates friction. Friction becomes fatigue. The warrior instead builds a harmonious relationship with the body, strengthening it, listening to it, but never becoming a slave to its laziness or weakness. Through consistent training, the body becomes an ally that moves smoothly with intention. The most important lesson I learned through years of combat and wandering is this: the body's limits are far beyond what most believe. Fatigue often appears not because the body is weak, but because the mind declares defeat too early. When the spirit is weak, the mind listens to the body's complaints. When the spirit is strong, the body listens to the mind's commands. This hierarchy, spirit over mind, mind over body, creates a structure where energy flows without obstruction. Imagine a river that flows straight and clear. When spirit, mind, and body are aligned, energy moves through you like that river, powerful, direct, and unstoppable. But when one element is out of order, the river bends, slows, and becomes turbulent. Fatigue is the turbulence created by inner misalignment. To restore the flow, you must examine which part of your triad is out of balance. If your body is tired even with rest, look to the mind. Is it burdened? Is it carrying worries? Is it jumping endlessly between tasks without completing any? If so, strengthen the mind's discipline. If the mind is restless, look to the spirit. Has your purpose faded? Have you allowed doubt or fear to cloud your inner flame? Restore your intention. If the spirit feels weak, use the body to awaken it. Train, move, sweat. Combat dulls the mind's noise and reignites the will. When the body is pushed with discipline, the spirit often returns with clarity. This cycle, spirit guiding mind, mind commanding body, body awakening spirit, creates a loop of energy that renews itself. Most people break this loop unknowingly. They push the body without purpose. They force the mind without stillness. They pursue goals without spirit. In time, they collapse under the weight of their own imbalance. But the warrior walks differently. The warrior lives by a principle that I followed not only in battle but in every aspect of my life. When you know the way deeply in one thing, you see it in all things. When you learn how to align yourself, you begin to see how the world itself mirrors alignment. Day and night, breath and silence, strength and softness. And just as nature flows effortlessly, the warrior too begins to move through life with ease rather than resistance. To cultivate this alignment, you must adopt daily practices that reinforce the unity of your three selves. Begin each morning with a grounding ritual. It may be breathwork, standing meditation, or a short sequence of movements that awaken the senses. This practice is not for exercise alone. It is a declaration. I begin the day as one being, not three parts in conflict. This sets the tone for all energy that follows. Throughout the day, maintain awareness of tension. Many people exhaust themselves not through action but through resisting action, tightening the shoulders, holding the jaw, clenching the mind with worry. The warrior keeps the body relaxed even in movement, Relaxation is not laziness, it is mastery. Only a relaxed body can move endlessly without fatigue. Only a calm mind can think clearly in chaos. Only a steady spirit can endure storms with grace. At night, reflect not on what you lacked, but on how well your spirit, mind, and body work together. If the day felt tiring, identify the break. Did the mind wander? Did the spirit waver? Did the body resist? Reflection is sharpening. Sharpening is growth. In battle, I learned that overexertion is as dangerous as hesitation. The warrior does not waste energy in wild swings or unnecessary motions. Every move is precise. Every breath is controlled. This principle applies to life as well. If you waste energy on meaningless arguments, distractions, or indulgences, you will always feel tired. Precision of action, thought, and intention is the hidden source of vitality. To align spirit, mind, and body is to live with precision. A life aligned becomes a life of flow. You begin to sense timing without effort, make decisions without doubt, act without fear. Your energy rises not because you have more of it, but because you no longer squander it. Understand this truth: removing what drains you is as important as cultivating what strengthens you. The warrior does both. He discards unnecessary conflict, refuses meaningless pursuits, and distances himself from the noise that weakens focus. In doing so, he protects his energy as fiercely as he protects his life. When this protection becomes instinct, fatigue disappears. Not because you never tire, but because you never exhaust yourself wastefully. You tire only from worthy effort, and that kind of fatigue transforms into strength once you rest. Many have asked me how I survived countless duels, journeys across harsh terrain, nights with little food or shelter, and battles where death circled me like a wolf. My answer has always been simple: alignment. The man who stands fully united cannot be broken. The man who is divided collapses even in comfort. When spirit, mind, and body operate as one, you become a fortress. Your movements are lighter, your decisions sharper, your endurance deeper. You rise before the sun not out of obligation, but because energy flows naturally within you. You pursue challenges not with tension, but with calm resolve. You rest without guilt, train without resistance, and work without fear. In this state, you no longer chase energy, you generate it. And when you generate energy instead of losing it, life ceases to feel like a burden. You step into each day with the quiet confidence of a warrior walking into battle, not in rage, not in panic, but in perfect clarity. This clarity is the highest form of power. To reach this state is not the end of the path, it is the beginning. From here, you refine endlessly. Each day becomes an opportunity to deepen unity, polish intention, strengthen presence. Through this refinement you rise above ordinary fatigue. You become like the mountain, unshaken by wind, unmoved by storms, standing firm through all seasons. When you live with your spirit commanding your mind guiding your body, and your body carrying out your will with discipline, you walk the true way of energy. In this way, fatigue cannot chain you. Doubt cannot slow you. Life cannot scatter you. You move with the unstoppable force of one who has mastered himself. This is the warrior's alignment. This is the state of unbroken energy. This is the quiet power that transforms a human being into a living blade, sharp, resilient, and unexhausted.